So who are you and where are we at right now?
My name's Robert, and this is the Biker Channel. Wait a minute, it's not the Biker Channel. This is Brian Kennedy's channel.
It is. Man
Breaking
down.
shit. My name is Robert, and I'm from the Biker Channel, and we're here in my garage, the Biker Garage in Sacramento, California.
I've seen it many times on different live streams and videos that Robert's had. So it's I was here last Sunday. I had dinner with Rob, and very cool to see it in person. It's very much a surreal experience when you go, like, you know, you see something in person. You're like, oh man, all the stickers, all the stuff.
It's
awesome.
really real.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Well, I'll drink to that, dude.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
How's your YouTube journey been?
You know, it's been really interesting. I'll tell you the truth. I started my channel actually from watching yours. And whenever I was watching it, I had a project, BKER, that I had started about 3-4 years before that. And it was this website and had all these great ideas and did a bunch of coding for it. And then from there, I was like writing out all these trail descriptions because I was kind of doing the same thing as what we're doing now, except for I was thinking about it was going to be written out. And as I did that, I was like, oh man, I should get a GoPro and I'll film this. And that's like where the rabbit hole began.
Yes.
So I start filming all this shit, and next thing you know, I got like 2 terabytes of data and haven't edited anything.
Yes.
And I just like, I got into this like, this cycle that I felt like I had to be like Steven Spielberg editor before I could actually get some content out.
That's such the story you hear over and over. There's different people, right? There's the perfectionist, the all or nothing. I know you described yourself as all or nothing.
Definitely.
And then there's kind of people that like kind of into it, but not really. It's funny. Like perfect is always the enemy of good.
Yeah, I definitely wish that I could have been just the guy that just goes out, records the GoPro video, throws it straight from the GoPro onto YouTube, and been like, fuck it, I'm done. You know? So anyways, I kind of fell into that pattern, and I just got to the point where it was just too overwhelming to edit all the video that I had. And so it was kind of like one of those rainy day projects. Every once in a while I'd come back to the website and start programming something else that I had plans for. And then when I was watching your stuff, and you were talking about it, you mentioned about, you know, like you just got to put yourself out there. And it kind of just struck a little chord with me. And I was like, you know what, dude? I've been putting this off long enough. Like, I've had plenty of beers with my friends at night talking about, me and Moonlight Leatherfoot talking about, dude, we're going to build this biker thing, man.
Yeah.
And finally I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. You know? And I just went out and I captured a ride, and that just so happened to be well, no. First I did an intro video. And in the intro video, I was like, not being Robert, I was being this guy that I thought the internet wanted to see. So I was being all calm and let me tell you what I'm gonna do. and
playing a character that was like
normal,
downplayed instead of being yourself, which is what's up, YouTube.
Yeah. So I think it was my second video, or maybe it was my third video. It was my third one. I did this Beer Your Bike video where I put some parts on my bike that had to do with beer.
Oh, cool.
And as I was doing that, I was drinking, and it was just like being me.
Yes.
And I think that was the first video where I was like, what's up, YouTube?
Yeah.
And it was just like, went on from there, and whenever I did that, like, people responded to it. And I responded to it when I was editing it. It was just made me feel good. Because it was like, that's me, just being me, like, having a good time. And from there, you know, here we are, like 11 months later, right around 1,800 subs. So I'm doing well. I'm definitely doing something right.
Yes.
I'm not doing it bad.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I definitely have a following that is like, you either love this guy or you hate this guy.
And I think that's where you need to be. I really think the in-between stuff is just like, meh, and I do that too. I try to, you know, I cuss in my videos. You cuss much more in your videos, I think. But that's you, and that's me, and that causes polarization, and I think that's good. I really do think that's a good thing. It's like, we find our people, we're magnetized our people, and the other people are like, man, you know, you would get so many more. Shut the fuck up, go away.
Yeah, I just did a subscriber update the other day, and in the update I was talking about 1,758 subscribers. Yeah, 56. Yeah. I don't really pick real. I'm like, it seems like a good time right now. Yeah. And during that video, I was saying, you know, the channel's been growing a little slower, and I've been questioning to myself, like, do I change myself? Do I stop cussing? Do I go on a diet and lose weight? What do I need to do to make myself feel more successful? I don't know why. Yes. But the thing that was really interesting is like you do have some people, and I respect everybody's opinion. I totally do. I'm not out here to like just shit on people, you know.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
I love it.
I'll drink to that. And like some people are like, hey, you know, I think if you cuss less, it'd be great. I could watch it around my kids. I get it.
Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of people though that were just like, dude, you dropping the F-bombs and blowing it up while you're going up the hill and just being pissing, you know, like shitting on stuff. Like they think it's hilarious, you know, and I hate to say it, or I admit it now, I think it's funny too.
Yeah.
Because when I watch my own videos, I always tell people I'm my biggest fan.
Yeah.
And those things, like, they still make me laugh.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. And if you can get to that place, if you know that what you're doing is good, it's just, like, for me, I always say, like, 1 video a week, it's good, but if you can do 3 videos a week, if you can, you know, it's always more. So, like, you're always going to be slightly limited by the number of videos you put out per week, and your reps are just never going to be that great. But when you make friends with other YouTubers and ride with other YouTubers, that's really how stuff happens. And that's how people see your channel. They see this guy and they're like, oh wow, I kind of like Brian, but this guy's freaking awesome.
Well, and that's the thing too. I actually, on the live stream that I did later that night while I was waiting for that video to upload, I was talking about, you know, my channel is really about community. You know, like your channel, and please pardon me if I'm wrong, like in my eyes, your channel is like, live vicariously through this guy. He quit his job, he's traveling the world, and he's interesting as well.
Yeah.
And like single track samplers, like, dude, this guy's like a vagabond, but he's got a great personality.
Living life with no boundaries.
Exactly. Right. And then you got like Seth, who's like the serious, like business guy.
Mad scientist.
You know, but like super meticulous and like perfect about things, you know. And so like everybody has their reasons for doing things. And I really wanted to do this channel to build a community. And when I say that, like, I really want to, like, I want to travel the U.S., not to travel the U.S. I want to be able to go out and meet more subs and do these, like, kind of camping events and things where we're ultimately, like, in the, like, if I had the wish of wishes to be, like, hosting an outer bike that's, like, the biker event. You know, that would be just... That would be tits to me, man.
I believe it, man. I think it will happen.
Yeah.
I think it's completely possible. And you already have the vision. It's just about the work. And, dude, this guy has a beautiful wife. He has 2 kids. He has a job. I don't know how he's putting so much time and effort into the channel to begin with. And it's like, it's amazing to me because, you know, I'm fully obsessed. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I have my mom and dad. I go have dinner with them once a week, and then I'm friggin' in the tunnel. I'm just like obsessed. But you still manage to put out high quality stuff every week, and I'm amazed by it.
I appreciate that, dude. That actually feels good. I like that. You know, sometimes it's, you know, being a YouTuber, it's so easy to just beat the shit out of yourself. You know, like,
hey, and if you don't, someone else will.
Right, exactly. You know, but I feel like I said a minute ago, I'm my biggest fan. I'm also like my worst enemy. You know, I'm the guy that every time I upload a video, I think this is the one that's going to make everybody just stop.
Yeah.
Like, every one in like 10 or 15 videos, I'm like, this one I feel good about. But every other one, I'm like, I'm going to post it. It's going to be like 5 views and 25 comments somehow that all say it sucks.
Same guy 5 times.
Yeah.
I think that is such a great thing to say, because whether you work a normal job or a YouTuber or you're a movie star or you're a janitor, we all have these fucking feelings. We all do. I think we all place. And if you don't, you're kind of oblivious, or maybe you're just kind of coasting through life to begin with, and you're not putting any pressure on yourself or what you're doing. So I certainly feel like I like it, but is anybody else liking it? Oh, I've got 108,000 subs, but why do my videos only get 20,000 views? What does that mean? And like, so it's all something we're all dealing with, and we have friends, and we put it out there, and I don't know. It's nice to not feel alone.
No, it definitely is, and I think with the channel, you know, as they grow, and I'm making some assumptions because mine's not huge, but I felt some growth.
Yes.
That, like, there's always another hurdle.
There is.
There's always something you want to do more, and I think it's like you just said a minute ago, it's like life in general. Right?
It is.
I mean, no matter what, you get the biggest house on the street, then you want the fastest car, or like whatever it is, the prettiest wife, or whatever is important to you. You climb Kilimanjaro. You're like fucking Everest, bitch.
Exactly.
You know, like,
exactly. And there's something in us that drives us, and that is kind of a little screw loose thing, which is good. I mean, that's how we accomplish things, but there's a dark side and there's a light side. Like
Yeah.
you were talking about, you used to have an R6, and
Yeah.
you know, that went 160 miles an hour. But then the R1, I need that, it goes 190 miles an hour. What,
Yeah.
Probably getting the figures wrong.
No, you're pretty close to what I did.
It's like, it's just, yeah, this hunger inside of you. And I think when the hunger dies, that's kind of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and that's part of, I think, the type of people that I'm assuming that we all are. When you're really driven, you're actually, me at least, I'm happy whenever I'm like so fucking busy I almost can't think straight. Like that makes me feel comfortable. When I don't have anything going on, that's when I really start feeling like I'm a piece of shit. Like, what am I accomplishing?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, like, even if I am still like doing well and if I'm not like kind of hectic, then I feel like
that's your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
It's interesting for me because I think I've always wanted to do something creative and build something and put my energy into something like this, and to be able to find it, you know, when I was 34 years old is like a miracle, I think, even though I feel like it took forever to find it. Where previously it's like, oh, you get bored, then you start losing yourself in Game of Thrones, and then you start losing yourself into video games, and you start losing yourself into these pursuits that feel really good, but really aren't making an impact on the world. And to make this channel, I think both of us have amazing stories from people in the real world that we've made an impact on.
Yeah, no, that is also, there's some things about having a channel that come along that you don't always think about, you know, like when I first started my channel, it was like, I just want to put these videos out and I want to get one sub.
Yeah.
You know, like when I first got one sub, I was like walking around the house and I told all my family, I was like, I'm fucking royalty now, bitches. I want you to refer to me as Mr. President, you know, like and it was one of my friends, but but anyways, like, oh shit, I forgot where I was going with that.
Just making an impact in the world.
Oh, and making an impact on people. So, you know, that was really all the focus was. It's like, let's start to build this community. And then whenever somebody sends you a message and they're like, dude, I was freaking 360 pounds and I never thought I could go out and get on a mountain bike, but I see you're a big guy and you're doing these epic rides and it made me just go out and buy a bike and change my life. And I'm like, wow, dude, I was hungover that day. You know, like, I didn't know I was going to change somebody's life, you know?
It is. It's crazy. I have similar stories that just every time it touches me so much, and I really hope that you guys feel comfortable with sharing those stories because that's really what gets me fired up. Like, it's good to make money, and that's great, but like my scorecard is like every time I get a comment like that, every time I get an email like that, it's like that pushes me through. Like, It's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of can't go wrong when you're helping people.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have thought?
Right?
Thought I would just be selfish all the time.
I always tell people when they want to start a YouTube channel, I always say to them that, A, I wish that dog would shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then B, I say to them that, you know, mountain biking is what brings people to your channel, but you is what makes them stay. So, like, they're not subscribing to your trails, they're subscribing to who you are, who you are, and what you're bringing to them that way with your personality.
100%. And there's enough ways to gimmick it where it's like, oh, I'm doing this and oh, I'm doing that, and you kind of like, you could fake it for quite a long time and get a lot of subs if you have access to celebrities or you have, like, you know, different ways. But at the end of the day, it is about your personality. And, like, you know, people see that I have 20-minute rides and then they make a 20-minute ride on their channel. It's like, dude, like,
that's not the standard.
Listen, like, turn off the video and listen to my video. Yeah. Like, you'll see it's not just dead air going through the leaves and me huffing and puffing. There's plenty of that.
Yeah.
But little YouTube tip there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was actually part of my separation from you whenever I was building my channel. Was like, what do I have to offer? I'm not this super fit guy. I'm not like doing some badass riding, but I do have a great personality. And when I was watching all of your channels, I was thinking to myself, like, I want to know more and more about these guys. Like, I'd go and look for all your subscriber updates. That's really what I wanted to watch.
I love making those videos. Those are the videos that get the least amount of views, and those are the ones I love making the most because that's where the genuine connection happens.
Yeah,
that's where the real shit happens.
Yeah.
And that's where you do, and even videos like this. this video is not going to get that many views, but we will find our people through it. And
not that many for his channel. Everything's relative.
Yeah, everything is relative. Everything is relative.
It'll have more views than I have subscribers.
But these are the videos that matter. Just because the other ones get suggested by YouTube and, oh, there's blood in the thumbnail, oh, like, those videos I can take or leave. But, like, these videos where you actually make a connection, human thing, these are priceless to me.
Like you just said a second ago, it made me think of the hardest part of having a channel is not putting out good content. It's actually just getting recognized and having people to find you. I was telling you the other day, like, I found some mountain biker's channel that had like 350,000 subs, and I never even heard of them. You know, and it's like the next day I found somebody else had 60,000 subs, never even heard of them.
Dude, it's very crazy. It is very crazy. And number one thing I say for those people that are trying to get recognized is you comment on other mountain bike YouTube. If I watch a video, I comment. Unless it's like a 3-week-old video, and then it's like, okay, I'll maybe text someone that I watched it. But like, if there's not a comment from me on that video, I didn't watch it. Mm-hmm. And when I get other YouTube guys saying, oh man, I loved your latest video, and you didn't comment on my video, I'm like hurt by that. Yeah. It's like, you want other people to see your channel, don't you? Like, let's have a genuine interaction and show that we're actually, like, we have mutual respect and get a conversation going or whatever. Like, yeah, I got an email from a guy recently, and I'm like, look at his channel, it's like, wow, he's got like a couple thousand subscribers, has never commented on one of my videos, and then wants to go ride with me. It's like, I get it, I'll go ride, but I'm almost blown away. Like, what? You know what's going on here? You see the comments, right? The comments are kind of a thing. Like, all right, do whatever you want.
Right. And another thing too is like I remember telling my lady back when I first started, be like, oh shit, Brian's live. I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta get on. And she'd be like, why? And I'd say, because when I'm on there and I'm chatting in those comments, and he's saying, hey, what's up, Robert?
Yes.
Even at the fact that we didn't even know each other yet.
But I did enough. Right. I saw your video. You know, it's just enough. And even that tenuous relationship is a real relationship.
But then you get these other people in the channel that are in the and they're like, oh, well, let's see who he is.
Exactly.
Why does he know who he is?
It's all genuine. It's all real, but it's work. That's the thing. It is work.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just think that it's, you know, put a GoPro on with a gimbal.
I've inspired a legion of people that I made it look too easy. Yeah. Very much so. But that's fine, because there are enough people that are friggin' making it happen. And that's what's always going to be. It's always going to be like, I can do this too, and then some people are going to fail, but some people are going to friggin' like make it happen. And I think it's personality.
I always wondered how much you like faked it till you made it.
Of what?
I don't know, like just in general, like you're like financially maybe you kind of really set the stage where people were like, I knew, like, I know how much it costs to live around here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I knew that you were, the type of work that you did, I'm in IT as well, so I knew like generally what your salary was. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so he's really not telling them like how big his fucking savings is and how fast he's going through it. You know? But all of a sudden he's like, I quit my job, and it was a huge leap of faith. But I think because you weren't so detailed in that section of your growth, that people just had this idea that was like, oh, you can have a channel, and if you get 5,000 subs, you can quit your fucking job.
I know, but I think I always said, and maybe I didn't always say, but I always said 50,000 subs, 75,000 subs. That's where I thought. That's where it was breaking.
But you quit at like 5.
At 5 because I knew I didn't want to wait around for 75,000.
And it made sense. I mean, I get it.
Summer's going, you know. But yes, I totally know what you mean. I look back at that video and it's like 5,000 subs. Jesus Christ! Like,
what are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah, exactly, totally. But you know, without going into the details and stuff, I didn't make that much. My living expenses aren't that much, so it's like you know, in the grand scheme of things. And I was even thinking about this when I come here, you know. There's a whole topic of the illusion of success. And 108,000 subs, I've got it made. I'm never going to feel like I've got it made until there's a couple $1 million in the bank. Right. Is that going to happen? You know, so I'm never going to feel comfortable, basically. So
unless you're PewDiePie.
Yeah, and even him. You know, he's always worried. He's constantly worried about, is it good or not? That's just how it's going to be. But it's a healthy thing to have a little fire lit under your ass.
Oh, Rudy's coming. Rudy.
Come on in, buddy.
Rudy. Oh, he's gonna knock that thing over. Come on. No. Hey, dude. Check us out. You're not a YouTuber. Not today. Go on.
So I asked MTV Yum Yum, Jason, in the last interview, if he'd ever been in a fight. But I'm going to ask you, how many fights have you been in?
Oh, God. Man, you're really going to stereotype the shit out of me on this one, dude. I can say when I was in the Army, I was in the infantry, and our job was to kill. That's what we were trained to do. And unfortunately, when we were in garrison, which means like back, not in the field, like not out there practicing or whatever, like when we were in garrison, we pretty much got in a fight every Thursday night and Saturday night. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was kind of like, guys would be like, hey man, it's 12 o'clock. You picking up anybody tonight? No, I'm not doing good tonight. Hey, there's like 8 guys at that table. Let's go start some shit. Walk over, kick the table, and just, it was dumb. And so, unfortunately, probably too many that I can count.
That's amazing. I sometimes...
Those are not the proudest times.
I listen to these stories. Like, my uncles are pretty crazy when they were younger, and I listen to these stories, and it's like, I feel like I didn't live.
There's really some shit that I did in that time of my life that I tell the stories to, like my lady when her and I first got together. And she's like, yeah, right. You ran across 6 tables and jumped into a crowd of guys just to hit one of them. Right. And then my buddies that she meets that I was in the military with, oh, actually he did this. And it was worse than what I said because I forgot. And then, you know, here I am, fucking on YouTube. Now everybody knows.
Still standing. Still standing.
Good times.
Best concert you've ever been to?
Oh man, that is really tough. I've been to a lot of concerts. Fortunately, because of my job, we buy a lot of bandwidth and stuff like that. So AT&T puts me up pretty good. And you know, one of my favorite concerts ever was actually not a band that I was super into. I went to see Hole and Marilyn Manson because Nirvana is my favorite band in my entire life. Cobain was dead at that time. Just to see somebody that had anything to do with Cobain, that's what I wanted to see. And Marilyn Manson came out, and you know, I knew like the Beautiful People song, and that was about it, and maybe 1 or 2 other songs. And his show was just phenomenal. Even as a guy who didn't know all of the songs, like every freaking stage presence was different. Like the lights would dip and then come back on, and it'd be totally different. Nice. And just amazing performer, really amazing performer.
So did you get into devil worship after?
Yeah, I went straight, burned my Bible as soon as I got home. No. No, but I've seen some really good ones. I recently saw Paul McCartney.
Oh,
that
man.
was really, really good. Man, my like spread of music is all over. Keith Urban, I saw Keith Urban. He was great. Believe it or not, I saw, who's that other little country star, little skinny little thing, Taylor Swift. Her show was really good.
Yeah.
I saw Paula Abdul recently. She like jumped off of this like 20-foot ladder like at 57 years old or whatever the hell. Like it was crazy. But no, music is a big part of my life. It's funny that you asked that. When I first came to California, I came out here because I wanted to be a rock star. And I went to school for studio recording and learned how to do all that. Got offered a job that had at a place that just did all the sound for The Sixth Sense and recorded like Green Day's albums and Santana and all of this. And I ended up just right around that point in my life. Like I told you, I'm always an all or nothing person. And when I was in the music, it was all that.
Yes.
And whenever I realized at a certain point right through that little process, I was like, okay, this isn't my thing anymore. And then I switched to computers. Yeah. And it was like, but it's funny though, like you were talking about, it took you so long to find something to pour yourself into. That's been my life, my entire life. It's just like one thing after the next. And it's like, I'm going to do this until I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing it, I'm going to give it every fucking thing I got.
And that story is very similar to a lot of successful people that aren't like a failure or moving on doesn't crush them. You know, it's like, hey, fuck it, I'm moving on to the next thing. I tried this. I read that Mark Zuckerberg had like 10 other computer things that he had programmed and like apps and stuff that he had done before he even did Facebook.
Right.
It's like, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, nobody just blows up. Nobody just comes up with something that is just amazing their first try. Like,
Right.
it's all about failure. Failure is like the only thing that gets you to success.
Yeah, and for me, it's not even always like failure. It's just like,
The flame.
or it's just that I tried.
Yes.
It was like, like I got to a certain point in playing music that I was like, oh, I'm not going to be freaking like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
But I want to work in the music industry. So that's when I went to school for studio recording. And then it was like, later on it was something else, It's just that, just to try, I will never look back and be like, man, I wonder what it would have been like if I would have tried to work in the music industry.
That's like the scariest thing for sure. Is like that you never gave it a try, and I'm so glad I'm giving it a try here. And it so many societal pressures, and like I meet chicks sometimes, and I'll I almost want to like play a game where I like don't even tell them what I do. Like, hey, if you can guess what I do, like kind of thing, because it's just it's weird, it's awkward, it's fun. Like I know they don't care if it's the right person, kind of thing, but it's just such a I have a YouTube channel.
It's funny that you say that, because that was one of the things that whenever I was single, this one time I went out and I don't remember exactly where I was, but this girl, like, first thing she asked me is, "What do you do for a living?" And my mindset is I kind of like fucking with people.
Yes.
So like at that time, and still do, I mean, I have a great job. I'm making a solid living. And the first thing came to my mind was, this bitch is fucking full of herself, man. So I'm like, I'm a garbage man. And the reason I said that was because I know those guys make good money.
Yeah.
Good, solid money.
Yes.
Like, probably close to what
your perception going to be?
Right. And as soon as I said it, she about face and walked away. She didn't even say, go fuck yourself. Like, just turned around and walked away. And from that point forward, it was like, anytime anybody asked me what I did, I'm a fucking garbage man.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it tells you who people really are,
Exactly.
man.
And I love it. So, without getting into too many details, you're pretty good with women. And I'd love to hear any tips that you have for a guy like me that is not.
I told you the other day the biggest tip I could tell you. It's a numbers game, dude. It's just like anything, like this YouTube thing, it's a numbers game. Give it all the tries you get, right? You can go out, and if you only focus on one girl, and that's the only one you say something to,
that's it.
and she says no, then you're 1 for 1 for the night.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't go out there and hit on girls that you're not interested in.
Yeah.
But go talk to all of the ones that you're interested in. So then if you're 1 for 20, then you're like, oh man, I really struck the fuck out.
Exactly.
But that also then gives you practice.
It's not that bad.
And anything that you practice, like this YouTube channel, like anything you practice, the more you do it, the better you get. So that's how you get to be a good talker. Get out and fucking talk.
Exactly.
Like,
it's so true. It's so true. But with personal relationships, it's just, at least for me, it's that breaking the ice is like a wall, man. It's so tough. Like, okay, here we go. And like, I'm putting myself out there. And 100%. I got to take that advice.
I think it's that, and the other thing too is just be honest. Like, I can't tell you how many stupid, corny things that I've probably said to a girl along the way, but it was just me being honest. Like, wow, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying it in a creepy, weird way. It's just like
direct. It's true.
Just came, like, I can't help it. When I look at you, I'm like, wow, I just want to hit on you all night long.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I mean, those are the thoughts that kind of go through your head. And, some people roll their eyes and turn their head.
Yeah.
And the ones that I'm interested in, they're like,
light up. Hey, yeah.
So
magic.
Yeah.
Friggin' relationships, man. Men and women.
How the fuck did I get to giving like relationship advice?
This is what this is about. We're going deep. This is what this
Diving
is all
in.
about. Let's have a sip to that.
I'm gonna need another beer for this.
Oh man, Lagunitas.
Lagunitas.
So mountain biking. Where'd the mountain biking come from?
Oh wow. I actually started back in the 90s. I was always a BMX kid growing up, like
no helmet.
Yeah, like no helmet, barely, and actually no clothes but shorts. Like, because I grew up in Pennsylvania, it's super humid. It's like in the summertime, you're like, you want to put on the least amount of clothes as possible. Like, no socks, just shorts, right? Just shorts and shoes. Vans were cheap. I was from a poor family, so it's like you had Vans and shorts, and that's all you needed to go ride your bike. And we'd go out, and that's what we did every day after school. Like, go out and do this jump or ride across town to get to this ramp that was built or whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom started dating this guy that was into mountain biking. Like, I don't know how she found that dude.
Yeah.
But, and they bought me a bike at Montgomery Ward's, and I rode that thing. It was like a tank. I think it weighed like 50 pounds. And I was riding with these guys that had like been like big road bikers that had rode from like San Francisco to Canada, back to Mexico, back to San Francisco, and then flew home. Like, these guys were like legit riders.
Are you like 15 at this time?
Yeah, I was like, well, no, I was in 8th grade.
Oh, wow,
when I first started mountain biking. And so these guys were probably 30 or something. To me, they felt like they were like 60, you know? And we started riding, and back then, you know, there wasn't a lot of trails, so there was no like advocacy or not allowed. So any hiking trail we could ride.
Totally.
On. And there's a lot of like rails to trail stuff back there. So that stuff wasn't like real exciting or anything, but you could just ride anything back then. And the bike that I rode, that Monkey Ward's bike for like a year. I returned it like 2 days before the warranty was up and got all the money back. And then I went out and bought Giant's like third from top of the line. Mind you, top of the line was $1,000. $999. The third from the top was $500.
Yeah.
It was like $499.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of money for a 8th grade kid, especially back then too. And the bike I bought was fully rigid, you know, and the big thing was that it had like oversized tubing, which is like probably still smaller than like my rear triangle on my bike now, and had bio-paste chain rings, which oddly enough have sort of come back and now are rebranded as oval. So every time somebody gets on my shit about having bar ends when I used to have bar ends, wait, they'll come back.
Yeah, exactly. It's a full cycle.
So I did that, you know, I rode through kind of high school, and whenever I went in the military, like I really just kind of got into partying, and I got married and had my kids, and just life got hectic for a while, and I lost it for about 10 years. And when I started doing IT, I'm now in a spot where I got a desk job, and you're sitting around not burning calories all day, and started putting on some weight, and I was like, dude, I need to do something about this. So from the Army, I started running, and then that wasn't enough. I wanted to do more. I was like, I remember, I really love riding bikes. I called my grandma, she had my bike still, and I'm like, send that thing back out here. And it showed up in this box, and I'm like, oh my God, this has been like rotting away in the attic for like 10 years. This is ridiculous. And I put it out on the street with a free sign on it, which I still am kicking myself in the ass for, because it would be such a fun thing to have. But, and I went out and I bought a bike, and I walked into the bike shop, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy a legit bike. So I'm gonna spend like $2,000. I'm gonna get like the top of the line. And so I walk in, and I'm like, I'm thinking I'm golden.
Yeah.
I'm like, got credit card ready, and I'm like, I want to get a mountain bike. And the guy says, well, what kind of mountain bike? And I look at him kind of funny, and he's like, well, do you want a free ride bike, a downhill bike, a cross country bike? A motherfucking mountain bike, dude. You know, like with knobby tires.
Yeah.
And you go on the trail. What the hell are you talking about? And then I found out the world had changed. And I ended up getting this full suspension bike that it brought it all back. It just brought it all back. I actually, when I bought that bike, I think enough times passed I can say this. When I bought that bike, I had been out of work on disability I had a hernia surgery. So I was supposed to be healing from this hernia surgery. And I go out like 2 days after the surgery. I bought this bike. I'm like, fuck it. Get on the trail, go out, break 3 ribs. Like, not even taking the medication that I had for pain for the surgery. Now I'm popping biking in because I just like busted a couple of ribs. And I'm walking home in the rain, in the mud. I can't even freaking barely breathe. And I'm thinking, I can't wait to do this again.
Oh, man.
I can't wait to do this again.
That's amazing.
And there's been a love affair since, you know?
Yeah.
And at this point, it's like, I will do it until it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
That is my goal too, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Rob, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
This has been awesome.
So much fun.
Guys, check out his video with me riding in Georgetown. It's probably already out right now. The previous video, me and Rob, you've probably already seen, but it's us riding together, and so fantastic. I love these things. I just love talking to people and getting so much and getting all these tidbits. Thanks for watching, you guys.
Hang on. This guy always screws up my slogan. Let's see if he can get it right.
It only takes a bike to be a biker. So get out and be one.
Boom!
Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.
Sweet.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, that's